All right, one more section here with decimals. Some skills in here that I will use, particularly when it works with fractions. I think, well, more likely with the percents, but let's go through here. Do you remember how to write a decimal as a fraction? What we're going to do is we're going to look to the farthest place. Remember, we saw that this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So I'm just going to put that number now over 1,000 for the thousandths place. Now we can break this down and reduce it. They're both divisible by 2, or they both have factors of 2, so we can cancel that down, reduce it down. We get this. Okay, so I'm going to the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. So I'm just going to put 234 over 1,000. All right, so we got some big numbers here. I'm going to just try to see if I can just divide. Since they're both even, can I get away with just doing... Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right, I think that's as far as it goes. I didn't check all my division rules, but I believe that's it. They're both divisible by 2. But the big point is that you put this over 1,000. Okay, they keep doing the same ones. It doesn't always have to be 1,000, but we go to the thousandths place. So I'm going to put 24 over 1,000. Now I could do the whole tree and everything. These are just big numbers, so I would just slash them down because they're both even. I would do that. Now they're still both even, so I would do it again. And they're still both even, so I could do it one more time. All right, do you remember how to convert a fraction to a decimal? Again, another skill, don't use very much. Would not get this out on a calculator in an algebra class, but just as a refresher here, we're going to take a look. So I'm going to take, so we're going to remember it's a negative, but we're just going to work with the numbers. I'm going 8 into 5. That's what I'm doing. Now, in order to do that, I'm just going to have to add some zeros. And then we're just doing long division just like we did in the last video. Now, when you've got it all down and you get a remainder of 0, we're going to bring that decimal up. And we're done. Now just remember we had a negative number when we started, so we need a negative answer. Okay, so we're going to have a negative answer again, but we're going 8 into 7, but we're going to have to add some zeros here. Okay. Trying to think of the biggest one. So what do we got? Nope. Too big. Okay, so what do we got left? 6. It's still got a remainder, so I'm going to add a 0 and bring them down. Still got to keep going. All right, this one will finish up. We get a 5, we get a 40. We have nothing left. All right, so bring up the decimal. So we've got 0.875. Oh, and it's a negative. Put that back. Okay, once again, this will be a negative, but I'm going 8 and I'm just going to work the regular numbers. Okay. Okay, we're not done. Bring it down to 0. It needed an extra 0. Okay, that'll knock it out. Okay, bring up your decimal, just right above where it was, 0.375. Okay, now, do you remember the idea of repeating decimals? So if we do our long division here, this is really brutal because we'd have to do it for a long, long time. But do you notice we start to see a pattern? Like we never get rid of the remainder, but 54 keeps coming over and over again. So our trick for that was this. We just put a line over the 54 to mean those two numbers are just going to keep repeating over and over and over. All right, now I'm not looking forward to this because there's going to just be so many. Okay, I'm sure we're going to have to keep going over and over again, but so we'll go 2 here. 2 into 22 times 11 is 22. Got a 5. Bring down a 0. So 44. Add a 0. Well, at least it's an easy number. Okay, I think we've found our repeat. Yeah, so we keep now repeating here with the 4. Oh, maybe I messed it up. Hold on, I messed up, so let's double check this. Okay, so there we got 22. Okay, there we had 4. So we keep adding zeros if you need to. 5 gets me 55. Add another 0. Okay, 11 into 50 goes 4 times. So I get 6 again. Bring down another 0. So here's where it's going to start repeating at this point. So we're going to get a 5 again. So here we go with our repeat. So I'd bring up my decimal. I'd have 2.45, and then it keeps repeating. So I'm going to put my line over top of that repeat. Okay, we'll try this one more time. 22 is going into 51. I'm going to add a 0 because I know I'm going to need it. 2 times 22 is 44. Add a 0. Add a 0. Okay, so 2 would go into 18 9 times. So let's try 8. Okay, I got a 4 left. So we've started to repeat. Where did we repeat? 1, 2. Hold on. That one. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be repeating. Yeah, we're going to be repeating. If I bring a 0, we're going to be repeating with the 1. Yeah. So we're going to keep getting 1 8 1 8 1 8. So let's bring up our decimal place. I've got 2.318. This part keeps repeating, so we put the line above it. Okay, so we're just combining some pieces here. This is kind of strange, but we're just going to turn 7/8 into a decimal. We'd get this. Now we can just add these two together. We could use this, like I could have done 6.4 plus 0.875 if I needed, or you could use your calculator. All right, so we're going to do 8 into 3.0. So bring that down. Ooh, I was wrong there. Bring that straight up. So we get 0.375 plus 4.9. Okay, use all our skills from these videos here. Okay, I'm going to add these up. So 5, 7. Got a carry there. Okay. We got one more of these. I just put it in a different place. All right, I think 6 would be our magic number. And that's a 5. So that'll take care of it. So bring up my decimal. So I've got 5.7 plus 0.65. Now I'm going to add them like this. That's a 0 there. Okay, 6.35. Okay, so we've got some stuff here with percents. I think this is the final topic in this section. We're just going to go back and forth between a percent and a decimal. Do you remember how to do this? So you just move it 2 spots over. So we're moving 62%. We're going to move it to make it a decimal. It's 0.62. Every time to turn a percent to a decimal, we're going to move 2 spots over. 1.35 for this guy. Is that the one? That's not what they have there, but I'm moving that over too. Now we ran out of spots after we moved it the first one. We got to add a 0. We get 0.057. Okay, if we converted these, we're moving over 2. We're going to have to add a decimal, or a 0, 0.09, over 2 for this guy, 0.87, over 2 for this one, 0.039. Okay, over 2, over 2, over 2, and we're going to have to add a 0. Now we're going to go the other way. So we've got a decimal. We want that as a percent. Well, we're going back the other way. On all of these, we're going over 2 spots. So the first one here would be 17%. Second one would be 175. So I'm just moving over 2 spots. Last one would be 8.25. Okay, one more here. Over 2. Over 2. Okay. Now, a lot of word problems, or many word problems, I can think of a kind in particular about solutions where you're going to need to remember the decimal rules. I think that's the most important thing out of that section. But again, it's all a refresher, so make sure you got that down.